This is exciting. It's great to see such a good large crowd here, and what a great case for planning and performing pruning in our cities. It's great. I'm here really to take it into that last step of how do we combine what we just learned into an overall program so that we have really sustainable urban forests into the future. Last year, SFI, Sustainable Forestry Initiative, started looking at whether they could get into urban and community forestry as a space and help provide leadership. And so did a survey. Over 600 of you, probably many of you that are attendees today, participated in that survey, and the overwhelming response was yes. We would love to have an urban and community forestry sustainability standard. So SFI decided to work with their partners and invest in this. And so in partnership with American Forests, Arbor Day Foundation, International Society of Arboriculture, Society of Municipal Arborists, and Tree Canada, we are creating, as we speak, really, I just got an email from David earlier today, we are creating that standard and the certification that will go with that. Our basic principles that we're working from as the development group are that trees and forests are vital for community well-being, health, resiliency, and sustainability. Trees and forests need proper care and management to maximize benefits and minimize risks. Trees and forests require the understanding, awareness, and participation of people to thrive in our communities. And trees and forests and their related benefits should be accessible and available to all. This is a really exciting time because we are talking about pruning today. You go into all of the 2 billion trees in Canada. You talk about the 1t.org efforts. So much focus being put on planting right now. But everybody on this call knows planting is just one part of it. Structural pruning is a big part of it. Regular maintenance pruning that we've been talking about all the way to the eventual removal of the trees. And what do we do with that woody biomass once their useful living life is over? And so that's what we're doing. We are creating a roadmap to sustainability for our programs that include the resource itself, so the trees, everything that's associated with them, but also the people and the program. And so it's really just a really, I say that a lot, don't I, really? It's just how excited I am to have made a change after this period of time. But it's going to take some good work. And one of the reasons that I'm here is to give you a little bit of a preview of what's coming, because we're going to need each of you to participate in this process. Right now we have a development task group put together. Several of the attendees today are on that task group. We're working through this summer to create the first draft of the standard. We're working on the objectives right now. Once we get the objectives done, we'll be working on performance measures and those indicators that we can track over time. And so that should be available for you if you're not part of that smaller group. We're going to go out for public comment twice. And so if you look in that September-October timeframe, there will be an opportunity for you to review the standard and give us feedback on what works, what doesn't work. Keep in mind, this is a standard for both the U.S. and Canada, and potentially even further abroad. So we've got to make sure that things are at that high enough level that there is some flexibility so that what works in Brownsville, Texas can also work in Ottawa, Canada, that what works in a wetter area on the east also works in a drier area in the west. And so it's really a kind of a unique challenge to have a standard that will work for such a broad area. Once we get all of those public comments, the task group will delve into those, look at those. make any changes that need to be made, and then we will come out with the second public comment period soon after the first of the year. That'll give you one more chance to see kind of what has been adjusted in that time frame, give us some additional feedback, with the goal being to launch the standard in May of 2022 so that each of you that work with an urban forest have that opportunity through 2022 to earn your certification according to the standard. We're also not planning on limiting this to just municipalities. If you work for a university, a hospital system, if you work for a corporate entity, and you have an urban and community forest program, you have a resource, there should be a way to recognize that. One of the common questions we get is, how does this interact with Tree City USA and the other Arbor Day Foundation programs, the program accreditation from SMA? That's why those 5 organizations are part of this process, is to make sure that things are complementary and not competing with each other. And of course, pruning will be a big part of what we're looking at when we look at the care and maintenance of those trees, which will be one of the objectives that we look at. This is going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a little bit unique because SFI standards are audited on an annual basis, and so you will be able to go to a third party and say, this is really a sustainable program according to the standard. Thank you all very much.